So the next question is from Kathryn. How do you remain compassionate with partners, often men, who try to control and criticize their partners? A bigger problem is to help the spouse, the partners, manage that criticism coming their way or respond to it without getting critical back, right?
Yeah. So people get controlling and angry for good reason. So my compassion for me, when I hear her word compassion, how do I remain compassionate? It's tied to empathy. It's tied to curiosity. It quickly goes back to that externship slide, one of Sue's slides that says empathic responsiveness is the foundation of all EFT intervention. It tells me again and again how important it is to start every session from that place inside of me where my empathy lives. And so my compassion is to make space for humanity, make space for this person's protest. People get angry and controlling as a way to protest mistreatment, as a way to protest what doesn't feel good. I want to know all about that. I will rise up and meet the strength of their emotion. I will meet them. I will make eye contact. I'll say, tell me, turn to me, as also as a way to protect the partner. I want to get in limbic resonance with this person's anger, which isn't hard because anger is so big, and the contagion of the emotion helps me get in resonance really quickly. And anger, controlling anger is obvious. So resonance isn't hard, but we, as we said yesterday and before, we tolerate the harrowing to go closer to a client who's stuck and gripped by anger and ends up controlling as a result of that.
And I remember you saying that one potential strategy is to ask the client to not necessarily tell you why they're angry.
Why they're angry. It won't help. We all know. We've heard, your partner's heard, we know. I don't say it quite that glibly or cavalierly. But in couple therapy, since their relationship is my client, I have to protect the client in all the ways I can while I still make space for this big anger. And I protect the client by asking them not to tell us again about the whys. And I literally say, hang on, I just want to stop you. If we go into the whys, your partner will get reactive, understandably so. I also will say something to the partner. I want to know your anger while I say to the partner, but I won't let it be dumped on you. So we make space for it, and I go closer to it because in that co-regulation, emotional regulation is a dyadic process, as we know. We have to be the ones to go closer to the anger, which can be daunting and harrowing. But once we're there and we're with it and we feel it, and I say things like, oh my gosh, I feel it on the inside of me. My palms are sweating. I'm sitting up straighter. I'm leaning in. I've been angry like you have been. I've been angry too. And if that were me in that situation, I'd probably be reacting similar or just like you are. I'm normalizing. I'm making space for. There's no judgment here. Even though I could feel, and I have felt overwhelmed, occasionally scared by someone's anger, but overwhelmed for sure. Like, wow, Kathryn, I need to lean in. I need to get more intense. I need to match this intensity. That's what matching emotion does for the co-regulation. If I stayed soft, so, and low when a client's angry, I'm going to miss them.
Yeah.
They need me to go into the anger with them, into the intensity of it. We're in it together. And then from there, I hope they'll follow my lead to some other emotion because we're borrowing on the biology of emotion. Of course, you've heard me say a bunch, no emotion comes all by itself ever. There's always another show in town emotionally.
Yeah, it's really hitting me right now that as a clinician, I need to have some comfort with my own anger in order to join someone in theirs.
Probably. So true. Nicely said. I need to have some comfort. Yep.
And culturally, it's pathologized.
Yeah. Quickly pathologized.
So I have a right to not be comfortable with my own anger. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. I can lean into it. It's just human. We all have it.
Yeah, it's mammal's best form of protest. I have dogs and I don't like when they protest, but I like recognizing it when it happens.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a process consultant in our profession, as we all are, I like watching process. I learn from watching the process. Even my two dogs interact where there's a young puppy who wants the older dog's attention and the older dog is saying, not now, not anymore. I'm tired. Let me rest. Leave me alone. And the little cheek goes up and she shows her eye tooth. That's her protest, right? And if that protest isn't respected, this is just true for all mammals, then she has to up the ante. Same thing happens in humans. The longer my protest has gone on her, the more angry and more controlling I will get. So there was a second part of the question about the partner.
Yep. How do you hold the partner? Like, what does that look like? What will you say to the partner as you're joining the other partner in their anger?
Yeah, I have to make it very overt that I'm aware how hard this is. In my chairs in my office, I'll put one hand on each arm of the chair to signal I'm with you each. I'm with you both. I will say very overtly, this is a lot. This is intense. I'm here to protect you both from this being any more painful than it is, meaning I will not let the angry one dump on the other. I will block the whys, I will catch the bullets, and I'll lean in and I'll say, talk to me, and turn to the listening partner to say, I'll come right to you. Even though the listening partner isn't being targeted in that moment, and hopefully not targeted at all, it's still overwhelming to have your loved one be that angry and that controlling.
Right.
And can, end up feeling unsafe, or can, of course, as we well know, can become intimate partner violence and abuse. So there's lots for the EFT clinician to manage in that moment. One of the main things I'm watching for in the stage 1 treatment with an angry, controlling person is, will they let me come alongside? Will they, to use a Gottman frame, will they accept my influence? Will they let me join them in their anger or not? Do they hold me out? Do they push me back? Do they bark at me? Do they snip at me?
Maybe part of how they would accept your influence is that when you ask them, you're not going to ask them, you'll say, can we not focus on the why right now? The why I think is going to keep you more stuck. Let's focus instead on the sensations of the anger. What happens inside your body and heart? What does it feel like? What are the images that come alive?
Yeah, that's great, Jen. And it's a great reminder of yesterday, right? Instead of telling me about the why, which I probably heard a little bit about in the individual session, I need you to focus inwardly. I need you to talk with me about the sensation of the anger, this image of your anger, and get you the focus off your partner and the whys of your, whatever your partner has done or not done, are the whys that fuel your anger, and into the experience of your anger. And that's where the EFT clinician can feel overwhelmed, or it's daunting, because anger is big and overwhelming. And I'm saying go into it. And that is true. We have to go closer to it, which is our way of shrinking it.
Yeah.
Closer to it and focus on it temporarily. And it feels like it's going to get big and overwhelm us like a tsunami. But once we start going closer to it and stay in contact with it, it starts shifting. It starts changing.
Well, and it automatically creates more safety. If our client talks about why they're angry, for the partner, they're going to hear it because you were late, because you didn't do this, or you did this bad thing. All of that sort of undermines the emotional safety. So if they're not focused on the why, more safety, is in the room.
Yeah, we block the focus on the why. And sometimes I literally have to interrupt because we can't afford it to happen again. Then sometimes that becomes an alliance conversation with me and the really angry person. And sometimes that alliance conversation leads to a fit. Is EFT a good fit for you? Because I'm having trouble getting you to follow my lead. And yes, as we know in EFT, we share the lead with our clients. I follow their lead into their anger and their controlling and the sensations and the phenomenon and the experience of it. I need them to follow my lead. After we contain all the secondary and validate it, then I need to find the other softer emotions embedded in that reactive emotion.
It's funny when you just said something about fit. I wasn't thinking a good fit. I was thinking that they go into a fit.
Oh, go into it like a temper tantrum.
Yes.
They're having a fit.
Or the therapist does internally, right?
I see.
Okay, that's great. That's all great. Share the lead. For more hot tips on emotionally focused therapy, go to theeftcafe.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you will receive short little clips like the one you just watched.